subject I see a lot of questions on, especially Reddit and places where there's new writers. It's a simple question of how do I get started riding the bike? How do I understand the clutch? And a lot of cases of I took the MSF course, but I failed because I couldn't keep the bike moving. I was stalling, things like that. If you're a new rider, brand new rider, and you've never ridden one before, this thing over here, the clutch lever, can be one of the most difficult parts about learning to ride a motorcycle. So I'll walk everyone through a few little tips here on how to learn to use the clutch. So where are we going to start? Parking lot. Nice empty parking lot. No cars, no people around. Step one you're going to want to make sure is you need the right bike. What do we mean by the right bike? For the purposes of learning, the right bike means you need to be able to put your feet flat on the ground. If you can't put your feet flat on the ground on the bike you're learning on, you're going to drop it, you're going to crush your foot, and you're going to hate your life, and you're going to give up on trying to ride. So step one, get the right bike, borrow, beg, plead, rent, whatever it takes. Get a bike where you can put your feet down and comfortably sit on the bike at a standstill. The actual operating the clutch is actually a lot easier than you think. A lot of people try to tell you a process about, oh, you need to use the gas while operating the clutch. You got to slip this while giving it gas. Well, for the purposes of learning, forget about that. For the purposes of learning, actually, don't touch this. Forget about the gas. Forget about the throttle. Because you should actually be able to get the bike moving using just the clutch. And this is how you're going to learn, and this is where it's going to get into your memory, the bite point, and where you can actually get the bike moving. So, how do we get started? Easy. What you're going to do, you're going to pull the clutch lever all the way in, put the bike into first gear, and now what you're going to try to do and concentrate on doing is actually getting the bike moving only using this lever. What you need to do is make sure you let it out slowly. And when I say slowly, get an idea in your head of what slowly means. Slower than that. You should be barely letting the thing out. So, I'll show you what will happen. Let it out just a little bit. You'll notice the bike's starting to move already. Let out a little more. Bike's starting to move. So you need to practice with this. Just practice with this bite point and trying to get the bike moving, because what you should be able to accomplish once you understand it and it really gets into your head how it works is you can just get the entire bike moving without even having to touch the gas. Look at this. Once you master this, everything else becomes easy, because getting moving in first gear from a stop, this is the hardest part. Once you're moving, it's easy to shift, so it doesn't matter. So again, all we're going to do, just from a stop, I'll show really closely. You're just going to barely let it out. You're going to notice the bike starts to roll. Resist the urge to let the clutch out anymore. You don't have to. You can let it slip. Keep slipping. It'll keep getting the bike moving. And then you can slowly let it out. And again, here's my right hand. I'm not even touching the throttle. So it just goes to show you, you don't need to worry about using the gas on most bikes. So, again, one more time. Just going to slowly let it out, get the bike moving. We're going to let it slip. And look at that. So, of course, once you get that technique down, then it's going to be real easy and you'll start to understand how to add in the throttle, because you understand that you can leave this lever in the slightly open position. Here's what I mean. I'm going to let it out to the point where the bike just starts moving, and then I can add some gas over here on this side, and then slowly start letting the clutch out. But what this does is, if once you understand how the clutch works first and you can get the bike moving by itself without the throttle, you're going to lower your risk of whiskey throttling, doing wheelies, all that kind of crazy stuff. But some bikes, especially the smaller displacement bikes like the Husqvarna 401, they are a little more friendly. In fact, these ones, you can actually get the thing from going from a roll without even using the throttle. You know, I can be at a normal stoplight and I can just go and I can get the bike completely moving without ever touching the gas, and then just start applying throttle. So learning on the right bike and picking the right bike really makes a big difference in how quickly and how much frustration you're going to experience. If you learn on the right bike, Ninja 400, one of these Husqvarna 401s, KTM 390s, these are all very, very friendly for beginners. They have nice light clutches that you can clearly feel. They have throttles that are very, very not sensitive compared to most motorcycles. So you can give it a lot of throttle and it barely moves the revs up. Helps you to not whiskey throttle. So that's another big takeaway. Get the right bike to learn on. Again, make sure you're comfortable on it. Get one where you can flat foot it and you can comfortably be at a stop without the bike tipping over. All right, that's it for today. Thanks everyone for watching.